Audi TT RS is one of those cars that you guys have asked me to review for a very long time. And I guess the main reason was that I reviewed the new Porsche Boxster S last year, the new Cayman this year, and of course the Mercedes SLK 55 AMG, which are the main rivals of this car here in Germany. And many people that consider buying such a car either as a sports car or as a roadster also wanted to know what I think of this TT RS here. People love to bash on Audi RS cars for their understeer. But to me the TT RS looks like the perfect car to have a good time on twisty back roads, especially in the winter season. Once I was sitting in it, I was surprised how much the interior and the driving position reminded me of the Audi R8 I had tested a few months earlier. But when you start to drive the TT RS, it's all about its 2.5 liter 5-cylinder turbo engine. Wow! This is a seriously fast car, and I have to say, for me it feels instantly faster than the new Cayman that I tested, and even than the SLK 55 AMG. And the reason for that is that the TT RS makes so much low-end torque, 450 Newton meters at 1600 RPM, and on public roads you just feel that. On a racetrack things might be different when you can really rev out the engine all the time, but on the roads that I usually test cars on, this really feels like one of the quickest cars that I have ever tested here. And this is just the standard TT RS with the 6-speed manual transmission, which by the way I absolutely love, and the 340 horsepower engine. You can get a TT RS Plus here in Germany and Europe that makes 360 horsepower and is even faster than this car. And of course, when you order this car with the optional S-tronic dual clutch transmission, you can launch it like a maniac, and I'm pretty sure that it will easily keep up with a car like a Porsche 911 Carrera S, and that's just astonishing. The performance of this engine and the sound. Yeah, once the flaps open at about 2,500 RPM, the sound of this 5-cylinder is just absolutely unique. And I hate to make this obvious rally comment, but it really makes you feel a little bit like Walter Röhrl. So I figured the only decent way to show you how fast the TT RS is of course to take it to the German Autobahn. Now I'm driving on the A5 now, where we have no speed limit, but since it's a Monday, not sure what the traffic will be like. 4th gear. And we're down to 160 again. And what amazes me about this car is that you can really leave it in 6th gear all the time, no problem, and it pulls really, really strong. So now we are on one of those absolutely magical roads that I love to test drive cars on here in the Odenwald area in southwestern Germany. And I want to see if this understeer thing that people love to talk about, especially those who come from countries that have 25 miles per hour speed limits on such roads here, really comes into play and annoys me. On public roads, these cars are just brilliant fun in my opinion. You don't have to be as progressive as with other sports cars. You can slam the brakes in front of a corner, you know, ride the corner nicely, and then you have just all the traction in the world when you are accelerating out of the corner again. And with this engine, it's just brilliant, brilliant fun. Heeling and towing works perfect with this pedal setup here. Now I get a little bit of understeer, but the road's also quite wet today, so it's not a problem. Absolutely predictable how this TT RS handles. So maybe for people that don't want to have a car that, you know, surprises them on the limit, this is actually quite enjoyable. And very manageable, of course. For me personally, I wish it was a little bit more agile. It doesn't have this delicate agility of the Cayman S. I give you that, but on public roads, the limit is so high that you are either speeding constantly with this car, or you just won't have any problems with understeer and all these kind of things that people normally talk about. I absolutely enjoy this TT RS, I have to say. I know you guys aren't ready for me to tell you that I enjoy driving this car more than its competitors. But the true fact is, while I don't like the TT's image as a typical yuppie sports car, driving it fast on public roads and the Autobahn was just blindingly good fun. It's not the way it handles corners, but how the TT RS puts its power to the ground that makes it so dead impressive for me. Once the road is wet or covered in light snow, the TT's quattro all-wheel drive system really comes into play, and the traction is simply incredible. Yes, I probably nailed a few too many perfect downshifts in this car, got carried away by the sound of the optional sports exhaust, and even was rewarded with an unusual low fuel economy. Hell, the only real criticism I have is the old sat-nav system, which is a minor complaint in a sports car I only drove on roads I know in and out. In the end, it excites me to see what the all-new 2015 Audi TT will be like, and makes me happy for those buyers who now might get a better deal for this TT RS here. Truly one of the nicest sports cars you can drive on public roads in any kind of weather.